be the issue, but welcome. Hope all six of you with the family and friends as well. So I've been tasked to talk about our mission statement and core values. And there is a saying that goes something to the effect of, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every single time. What that speaks to is the inevitable outcome of aimless living, where you don't set goals, you don't begin with the end in mind, you don't imagine where exactly am I going. And so in just a few moments, the Chief of Police is going to talk about a destination that we're all striving to make. It's a destination that's called excellence. But how do we get there is an important question. If you imagine if you're going to be going on a vacation, it's important, first of all, to figure out where you're going to go. Because without that answer, you're not going to know, what do I need to pack? How much do I need to pack? And what mode of transportation am I going to use to get there? Plane, bus, automobile, what is it going to be? So I want you to think about two things, that being our mission statement and our core values, seeing our mission statement as the vehicle that's going to get you there. But that vehicle needs a fuel source, some gasoline, and that is what our core values are. So let me begin by talking about our mission statement. Our mission statement is that we strive for excellence and we partner with our community to enhance quality of life. So there are three key phrases and three associated questions that I want all six of you to ask yourselves every single day. So let's break that down just for a minute. First of all, we strive for excellence. If you want to know whether or not you're hitting that target, I want you to ask yourself the question, am I a better, you can fill in the blank, person, son or daughter, partner, police officer today than I was yesterday? This profession, this journey that you're on, has to have growth from now until the time that you retire, 30 years from now, or maybe sooner.
What you're trying to say.
Number two phrase was partners with our community. The question I want you to ask yourself on a daily basis is this: am I seeing myself as one with or separate from our community? Think about living in the city. Think about serving in other ways besides the way in which you will be served. You'll be serving on a daily basis, whether that's part of a nonprofit or part of a church or something else, to be able to create those relationships that are vital in doing the job that we do. We can't do this job alone. In fact, the father of modern day policing, Sir Robert Peel, says the police are the citizens, and the citizens, they're the police. And the only difference between the two of us is that we're paid to give full-time attention to duties that are incumbent upon all of us. And so it takes partnership to meet excellence. The third phrase is enhance quality of life. So the question I want you all to ask yourselves on a daily basis is, are my actions today or my inactions, the things I'm choosing not to do, are they enhancing life for the individuals or the community as a whole? So if you're asking and answering those three questions every single day, you'll do well in the fulfilling of our mission and getting us where we hope to be tomorrow, that destination that the Chief will talk about called excellence. So the mission, we strive for excellence and partner with our community to enhance quality of life. That's the vehicle that gets us to that destination. But every vehicle needs a fuel source. And our fuel source has four additives: professionalism, accountability, integrity, and respect. All of you are bright. I'm not going to take the time to define those four things. But if you heard how I read those off, they form a word, an acrostic, pair. And if we were to define pair, it's the joining together of two things. And what are we trying to join together? We're trying to join together our mission and our vision. Where you are today and where you hope to be tomorrow. Where we are today corporately and where we hope to be tomorrow. It enables us to through mission and through our core values to reach our destination called excellence. I'll leave you with this. I welcome all of you to come into my office at any point in time to talk to me about anything, whether it's professional or personal. And one of the things that's hanging up on my desk was something that my mom created based upon a saying that is very important for me. And I'm going to adjust it slightly to fit this, this setting here this morning. And that is, only one life, 'twill soon be past. Only what's done for others will last. And I bring that up because the true measure of life is not about its duration, but about its donation. Not what you have assembled for yourself and how long you have lived, but what you have done in living for others and investing in others. So don't waste your life on a trivial pursuit of self-service, but pursue every single day with an others more than self mentality. And hopefully, at a ripe old age, you'll be able to look in that rearview mirror as you're arriving at the destination called excellence, and you don't see a life filled with a lot of regret. So, welcome to you. Think about that mission and those core values every single day, and you will do very well for yourselves, but also for our community.
It's got that low, beautiful voice that just lulls you almost to sleep, except for such a great message. So thank you. So I'm going to talk about our vision statement, which is to be regarded as the standard of excellence in pacing. And I just want to clarify that vision statement doesn't come from a position of superiority, that we're better than anybody else. It actually, quite the opposite, comes from a place of humility, which is to recognize that we have the ability every single day we come to work to get a little bit better, to improve. At the end of the day, our responsibility is to serve our community and to keep our community safe and make our community a better place. And so if we're bettering ourselves and we're striving to get a little bit better every day, then our community is going to be a better place. And we have a vested interest in that, right? Because we live here, even if it's only been for the last week, right? We live here, our kids live here, our families live here, our friends live here. So we have a vested interest in making our community a better place. And that's why I think being a police officer is such a wonderful thing. Is you get paid full-time salary, we're going to pay you, that's a good thing, to come to work every day and make your community a better place. So in order to achieve that vision, to be regarded as a standard of excellence, we have to have good people, and that's the core of what we try to do. We hire for character, and we train for skill, right? So you guys probably heard that in the hiring process. I know a lot of you guys that have been here a long time have heard that. And you've been through an arduous process, a really difficult, long process. So your family and friends might know kind of the length of the process, but they don't know all of the ins and outs of sitting down with Detective Bertrand on the polygraph, right? How hard that might be and how stressful that is. They haven't been to the psychologist and had a psychological examination. Maybe our detectives talk to some of you folks in our background investigation, right? So that's a really extensive, we spend about 40 hours on every background investigation that we do to make sure that we're getting the right people. That's because our community deserves the right people. They deserve people of high character. And so that's the number one ingredient in achieving our vision, to be regarded as a standard of excellence. And you see all these folks in here, some of them are off duty, some of them are on duty, some of them worked last night. They have all sorts of different responsibilities in our police department, in our community, but they're here to support you. They're wonderful people, and if they weren't wonderful people, they wouldn't be standing in the room here with you. Right? And it's a good thing to be supported by that many people. So I think it's important that we just recognize that you guys have a hard job, right? I don't know if you know this, but you're going to have to work night shift. You're going to have to work holidays. You're going to miss family events. I think Representative Snyder hit on the head that you're going to experience some really, really hard things. We talked about some of those things in my office this morning. And it's a tough job, so you have to be able to lean on the people here within the department and your family and friends for that support, right? Other people in the profession, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to have that support, but it's a tough job, right? You're going to have, as you go through your field training, some of you guys know this, our policy manual is like 1,000 pages long. You can have it on your phone, we've got an app for that, but it's a lot of information and knowledge to know. Ben Graham talked about our mission and values. If you know our mission and values and you live by them and you make decisions by them, you're gonna be just fine, right? You're gonna be just fine. So just know that we're here to support you in that. And so, even though it's a hard job, I just wanna read a letter that I read at every single one of these swearing ceremonies, because it just drives the point home about the impact that we can have in this job. And this was a letter, a card that was actually received about a decade ago, and this is what it says. Dear Officer Kevin, our lives changed forever that day. You were there. Our family calls you our angel. I can't imagine the heartbreak and tragedy you see on a regular basis. I'm sure that day was just another day at the office for you. I came home from work and found my husband had hanged himself. I was 7 weeks pregnant. I don't remember a lot about that day. Strangely, I remember you holding my hair back as I threw up. You weren't there just doing your job, but I believe you genuinely cared about me. Thank you for your service and dedication. You have a tremendously difficult job and you excel at it. Please accept my deepest gratitude and know that you matter. Well, that's a card that came in 18 months after that suicide happened. When you think about the impact that he had in the life of that family and that woman. But nowhere in that 1,000-page policy manual does it say, if you go to a suicide, make sure that if this is happening, you hold your hair back, right? That just comes from in here. That comes from you having the compassion for people that you are serving in this community. And that's the difference that you have the opportunity to make throughout your career. And all of the folks in this room have done similar things in similar circumstances. It's because they're good people that want to serve and serve well. And that's how we achieve the standard of excellence, is we have good people doing great things, serving people with compassion. So with that, I know that you guys are those types of people, and I can't wait to see what you do in your career here at Wausau. Matt, I'm gonna have the deputy chief, he's gonna come up and he's gonna talk about expectations. He gets really nervous talking in front of a group, so just be patient with him.
Try to stay awake, because I also have one of those low, lulling, calming voices.
Some of us call it annoying.
You don't have a choice. This is the first time I've been asked to talk about expectations here, and I really thought about, boy, there's a lot to unpack there. I think if you were having a cup of coffee or beer with anyone on the outside of this room and they're like, what are the expectations? You drink a lot of beers to get to the end of that. I thought about opening up our policy book and saying, like, there's gonna be expectations in productivity, there's gonna be expectations in how you deal with citizens, the quality of your investigations, how fast you drive, how safe you drive. There's a ton of expectations, and all of that you're gonna become accustomed to. You'll be able to complain about them. They're not fair, they're not right. We can't meet the expectations of some members of our community that, what's the target? That's a really hard part of this job. And then I thought, like, really, what's more important? I can't take credit for the quote I'm about to share. I heard the chief say this, and it has stuck with me for years, and we've talked to a lot of our staff about this. When speaking to a public group, they said, Chief, what's the most important issue you're dealing with? And they said, like, is it OWIs? Is it the drunk driving that occurs? Is it sexual assaults? Is it domestic violence? And the chief said, like, it's none of those. They're like, what is it? He said, it's the wellness of our staff is the most important issue that we deal with on a daily basis. And it's a really hard issue to deal with because, as you just heard and everybody in the room heard, these folks, we looked at everything. We don't doubt, we're 100% confident. You guys are awesome people that have the right character that matches our values, that are here for the right reason, to perform for this community, to partner with them. The challenge is, in order to do that, you have to be well. And so we know that if our staff are well, all of those things are gonna settle themselves out. You're gonna respond to sexual assault complaints, you're gonna do a great investigation, you're gonna be motivated, you're gonna meet all those other expectations that we have if you're well. It's not easy to stay well in this job. You heard about trauma, you heard Representative Schneider talk about that. That's a hard thing to stay throughout the course of one of these careers. It's long and hard. So things that are expectations of me for staff is that number one, you recognize that. And if you go into it with your eyes open, it's a lot easier to see at that point. So you utilize the things that we have available to you. First and foremost, I don't think anyone in this room that's an officer would say that they could be where they are today without someone next to them. So the first resource is this family. And I always look at family, including my own, like, I love them all. I don't always like them all the time, but I love them all. And I utilize them to support myself. So an expectation is that you do that. Everybody here is here to support you. And when you need to lean on them, the expectation is that you do that. When you struggle with understanding why am I doing this job, and you deal with traumatic situations and those things impact you, is I expect you to recognize that that's normal. That's not a sign of weakness. It takes courage to recognize when something's really impacting me. And if 10 years from now, you tell me, nope, I haven't been to a single call that's negatively impacted me, or I didn't take it home with me, I'm not allowed to swear, that's horse pucky. Because it's just not true. And times have changed in law enforcement. When Ben and I started, I remember getting sworn in, and I asked one of the captains, hey, why'd you hire me? He's like, well, you're really tall and a bigger guy. And I'm like, all the questions you asked me that I worked really hard, like, that didn't matter. It apparently had to do with my height. Well, that's not why we hired you. We hired you because of the impact we think you can have on the community because of your character. So it's knowing the resources within the police department, and it's really changed. If they get hurt, we have physical therapy and an athletic trainer that treats our staff like tactical athletes to be able to get them back to work and make them healthy as quick as possible. And I think our staff really appreciate and use that. Every single police officer goes for, I call it the mental oil change. Like, you got to get a little maintenance, so a checkup. So we all go see a mental health therapist to talk about our wellness. And if we need help, that we accept that. That when the chief hands out books from Dave Ramsey to talk about how to make sure you have a little money and you're financially well, like, pay attention to those things, because those stresses in your life can really impact your ability to perform in the job. But you also have responsibilities to everybody in the room as well. And so in addition to being well on the job, we need you to be well off the job. So when I think about what would my ideal expectation be for all of you, is that whether it be tonight when you go home with your family, whether it's 30 years from now when you go home, that you're well and that you were able to take care of them and be a great spouse, to be a great partner, to be a great parent. And this job can negatively impact that. So do that with your eyes open. Utilize all those resources available to you so that you can be well. Because the days of just accepting the fact that there's a high divorce rate, there's a high suicide rate, there's a lot of negative impacts of being a police officer, the day where that's just the norm, we expect better of ourselves, and we expect better of you. So you stay well. All those other things that you're going to be asked to do, we're totally confident they're going to take care of themselves. So please meet those expectations. Thanks.
All right, thanks, man. All right, so this is really what we've all been waiting for, I think, which is actually the swearing of our 6 new hires. So with that, Caitlin, if you come on up, and you guys want to stand up and come and face the group here. Come over here. Line up like this here and face this way.
Okay. Then you raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Who have been appointed to the office of police officer with the Wausau Police Department in and for the city of Wausau
in and for the city of Wausau,
in Marathon County,
Marathon County,
but have not yet entered
but have not yet entered
upon the duties thereof,
on the duties thereof,
swear or affirm
swear or affirm
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the state of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of this office
of this office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Now you come over here and sign your oath. They are alphabetized by last name.
Make sure everybody's taking everybody wants to do this. Now you're changed people. Congratulations, it's official. We're gonna get you a badge. Badge presentation. Captain Bateman has got his badge. Presentation today. I'll sit on here so I don't have to juggle 6 badges. Oh, I'm still in there. Well, good morning. A little different. This is exciting. Apparently I wasn't hired with Deputy Chief Barnes. That was after the decree on height. Came a little bit later. It is a great honor for me to be serving as a patrol captain in this capacity right now, to participate in these ceremonies by presenting the badges. It just truly is a great honor for me, so I'm excited to be here. But if you look at Officer Palmini, you'll notice something conspicuously absent on his uniform. As new officers, your badge is likely the most recognizable part of your uniform. And the badge worn by Wausau police officers resembles a shield. So that could be somewhat representative of this shield of safety that our department offers our community. Your badge is an outward expression of your inner commitment to serve other people. And I think it does a really good job portraying that. It also symbolizes delegated authority that you've been given. So you weren't hired, selected because you already possessed this authority to serve in this calling as a police officer. You were hired because of all the candidates, it was determined that you would best make use of that delegated authority. And when your time and your service as a law enforcement officer is done, that authority will be transferred back or onto those that will come after you. So just make good use of that delegated authority. However, I think a sad irony of our profession is that very badge that means so much to those that wear it, you here and those that are along the outside walls and sprinkled among the seats here, is at times disparaged by the very people that you have just sworn to serve and to protect. And so with this kind of irony comes this opportunity to change perception, to influence other people's ideas and thoughts about what this profession is all about and what it means to be a law enforcement officer. And that's a big responsibility to do. And that'll be done through the kind of quiet daily acts that you'll be providing every day.
Every once in a while, we do engage in activities that are somewhat noteworthy and headline grabbing, but really our success, the hinge upon which our success turns, is it's those small little acts. It's not just one or two superstar things that are happening that make us really what we are. So I guess I would encourage you at some point today to take a little bit of time to jot down maybe some thoughts or feelings about your swearing ceremony, about taking that oath, about receiving that badge. And then later on, as your career progresses and those difficult days come, which will come, and we heard about some of those things, you can go back and reread what you wrote and recommit yourself to continue providing the best service and effort that you can in making a difference here in the community of Wausau. So I wanted to explain real briefly, maybe some of you know it, some of you certainly know it, but for everybody here as well, our badge numbering system. So all of our officers will have a unique badge number and identifier. And so just so you understand kind of how that comes out, on my badge you can see I have 3 digits here. I have 022. The first 2 digits of our badge number denotes the year in which that officer was hired. The 3rd number is the order in which that officer was hired that year. So I was hired in 2002 and I was a 2nd officer hired that year. So Chief Bliven's badge number is 001. That doesn't mean he thinks he's number 1. We think he's number 1. But he was hired in 2000 and he was the 1st officer hired that year. So let that be just sort of a point of reference as we kind of go throughout this, and now you'll know as you run into other Wausau police officers, you can kind of gauge their tenure, like has this guy been around for a while? Can I maybe pull one over? So, that being said, we would like to present these badges at this time. So first of all, we have Officer Yilang Yang, badge number 221. Officer Andrew Palmini, get your badge back. Badge number 222. Congratulations. Officer John Hansen, badge number 223. Congratulations. Officer Devin Talg, badge number 224. Congratulations, Devin. Officer Andrew Larson, badge number 225. Congratulations. Officer Ashley Barron, badge number 226. Congratulations to you. Let's have a round of applause for our new officer. So we're going to give the new officers just a brief moment to maybe share a couple of thoughts with everybody at this time. And we'll kind of go in that same order. So Officer Yang, we'll start with you and then we'll just kind of loop through.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for joining us today, especially my parents, my family that's here, my brother in the back, also the command team and everybody at Wausau PD for just giving me the opportunity to grow and work with them. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks. So I just wanted to thank everyone again for being here and thank you for the opportunity. And I am thrilled and excited to be able to serve in the community that I live in. For me, this is something that has been very life-changing, obviously late life-changing, but life-changing. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you to my wife, my son, and my family who is watching remotely as well. So thank you.
Again, just echoing what the officer said, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you to the Wausau Police Department and the city as a whole for allowing me the opportunity to start my career in law enforcement. Thank you to my parents for raising me so well.
Just want to thank everyone for coming today, my family and my not blood parents, but parents. And I look forward to working with everybody in the back. I'm very excited to be working with you guys. Thank you to the command staff and everybody in the hiring process. I really appreciate the opportunity that I've been given here, and I can't wait to show the community what I can do for you guys.
All right.
again, same as everyone else, thank you all so much for being here. It means so much. This is something I've been reaching for a real long time. Awesome to finally have it. And thank you to all my family, of course my wife, and pleasure to be on board.
I'm gonna try not to cry. Thank you so much for the opportunity for you guys. This is a dream to be here, so thank you. I'm just excited to be a part of the team, so thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Glad you're here. Glad you guys are all here. Obviously, it's a big day. You know, emotions are high, and that's a good thing. That means it means something to us. So I'm really glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much for everybody for being here to support everyone else here. And you know, the city of Wausau is a great team. We work together well. We have so much support across all the departments, and within our department, we have a lot of support. So thank you so much for being here. And we're going to have an opportunity for pictures and all that kind of stuff afterwards at the seal and all that kind of thing. And then we'll have, I think, lunch with some family members afterwards. So that concludes our ceremony. Thanks everybody for being here, and congratulations to all of you staff. I assume